Hi, welcome to Matt Holman Golf. I thought we'd take a look at Hunter Mahan's swing today. A Sean Foley student. I know Sean Foley says that Hunter Mahan is the straightest or the best driver of the ball hitting a draw that he's ever seen. He said he's very, very consistent and can hit that consistent draw over and over again. I thought we'd just take a look at maybe Sean Foley style swing. Is what we'd say is a slightly more one plane swing, or his arm plane is a little bit flatter and he sort of swings around his body a little bit more. But again, a technique I really admire and I always enjoy watching. Let's start on the left hand side. So just tiny bit of knee flex, really nice bend from his hips, which I like to see. I think the problem is when we start getting too much knee flex at impact, at setup, and the spine gets too upright, it's very easy to lose our body angles in the downswing. So slightly straighter legs and more bend from the hips, it makes it more likely to keep our angles through the ball. Let's just look at the start of his swing. So I think what you'll really see with his move is how again his hands will stay inside his hand line, club will track up the shaft plane line, if anything to slightly outside. I think if we take a look at Tiger Woods' swing sort of compared to older swings at some point, and you'll really see the difference there as well, that he's worked to keep the hands in and then the club head outside a little bit more. And now again with Hunter Mahan. So compared to maybe Adam Scott, was that one of the reviews I looked at recently, you will see a difference is that actually the shaft plane line is in great order, just inside the ball, very similar to actually an Adam Scott, but his left arm is just a little bit more behind his chest. Maybe someone like Jim McLean or David Ledbetter, they're going to teach the arms really in the centre of your chest, where this method the arms just get a little bit more behind the chest, and I don't think there's any problem with that. It just requires a slightly different sequence coming down to get the club back in a good position. So let's continue on. So again, retains great body angles. You can see that the glove hand or the handle is a lot more behind his body than some. What I really like with his swing is where his shoulder plane matches, or his arm plane, matches his shoulder plane there. Nice full coil. I know he's got very good flexibility, Hunter Mahan. And now as he moves down, again, everything's going to stay from the inside. Now, where his left arm's a little flatter there, he's going to need less forward movement in the lower body that we see when we look at his swing from the right hand side. Maybe we can sort of have a little look at this side as well. So he stays very centered. You can see, I know this is something, this swing on the right hand side is a little older. You can see his right hip, if anything, is sort of working towards the target. And I know now he does this movement less, so that you can really see he's creating a bit of a gap. Head stays very centered, great flexibility. But he has got a move into his left side and a lovely looking transition, but it's a less forward movement than some others. So where that left arm is a bit more across his chest on this left hand side, he's going to really need to turn his chest hard. So again, knees matching feet. And even though he's a draw of the ball here, I think in this shot he's hitting the ball very straight to maybe even a slight fade, just from looking at the hole and then his foot line, and then really the dynamics of the swing and line of the swing. So now again, left arm stays really in close to the body, which we want to see. The more the left arm stays in, the more likely the club is to be able to work back out in front of us. Club really tracks back down our shaft plane line. You see how much his chest and shoulder line there is looking left of his target line. That's allowed the club to pull out in front of him, and then he's really going to pull that handle left. So he's sort of got a great symmetry to his swing, but it's sort of lower and flatter backswing and lower and flatter through. So back at that point there now, his arm plane is really matching, or in a very similar position to where it was going up, and that's one of the things I really like about his golf swing. So just matching it back and through. Release is incredibly passive, you know, certainly a stable release. So especially for someone that draws the ball, you know, and players that think we need this sort of roll over to draw the ball, you know, you can see there's very, very little release going on there. And then a real good full turn through. So just continuing on the right hand side, you know, lovely looking transition. It's definitely more a rotary move from the top. There's certainly a pressure into that left forefoot and left toe, and then the chest and lower body unwinding, but there's definitely a less forward move than some other players. You know, from that slightly deeper arm position, if he was to work that lower body overly forward, the arms and the club are going to get trapped behind him, and he's going to tend to block and hook shots. So it's really the reason for the style transition he has. Again, what you'll notice with his swing, he stays really covered, really gets his head and chest up to the shot. I mean, I really like this move from about this point here. A lot of players I work with, good amateurs, even pros, this is when you're going to start to see that head move back, and we're going to create a gap between our starting position and that line there on the edge of his head. And that's when problems can happen, where you're going to see with him, if anything, he'll sort of push from through this point, push onto that line, and everything's so covered in front of him. You can see how square the club face strikes the ball and how passive his release is. You know, that left arm still noticeably above the right, and then great flexibility into a full turn.